Imagine, for a moment, being a kid with a heart full of curiosity and love for adventure. Every day is an opportunity to explore the outdoors, splashing in lakes, chasing dragonflies, and feeling the sun on your face. Nature is your playground, and life feels simple and free. But one day, everything changes. You start to feel sick, not just a little under the weather, but truly unwell. Your mother, worried and unsure, rushes you to the doctor. After some tests, the truth finally comes out.
The brown water coming out of this sink is polluted and dangerous.
It's something we take for granted in Canada. Access to fresh drinking water
and
is
it's one of the taking part in
Believe it or not, there are some communities in the country that are still without.
The water around your home is contaminated. The lakes you once played in, the taps you used to drink from, even the water in your bathtub, it's all unsafe. Suddenly, the world doesn't feel so safe anymore. Your family has no choice but to switch to bottled water, carefully rationing each drop because there's only so much to go around. Brushing your teeth, cooking, even just staying hydrated, it all becomes a challenge. That's what many of the Indigenous people have to face. These stories show how this crisis deeply affects everyday life, not just physically, but emotionally and culturally as well. Traditional water-based practices, such as fishing and ceremonies, are disturbed, and some communities have endured over 20 years of water advisories, like Niskandiga and Soul Lake 40 First Nation. Today, there are still 133 active drinking water advisories on reserves across Canada. Many water sources remain contaminated with harmful substances like E. coli, uranium, and cancer-linked trihalomethanes.
Water is the liquid of life.
The Canadian government continues to regulate water quality for the general population, but not for the people living on reserves. While the government claims progress has been made, such as lifting some advisories and funding infrastructure, the pace is slow and inconsistent. Bottled water is often more expensive than soda in many reserve communities, deepening the inequality and inaccessibility.
Reconciliation is something that is extremely important to this country, and it is a process that will involve many.
One of the causes to water contamination is oil in the oil sands, a black, highly viscous mixture of hydrocarbons, and is mixed with sand particles. This makes it especially difficult to mine the oil, which unfortunately means that conventional drilling techniques cannot be used. Therefore, open pit mining and in-situ mining are used to remove the oil. This is not a very safe or sustainable way of mining. One main problem with these oil sands is there are tailing ponds, which are man-made lakes used for storing wastewater from oil sands mining processes. These toxins can leak into nearby water sources, harming the communities along them. These communities include many First Nations. There have been reports of increased cancer rates due to toxins leaking into their water sources from the factories. This situation occurs with many other factories and Indigenous people and is negatively impacting the water supplies and their health. This crisis has deep roots in colonialism and system neglect. Historically, the federal government has not extended equal protections and services to First Nation communities, violating international human rights standards. As Jim Prentice said, the federal government has failed to ensure that this basic right is provided to all Aboriginal Canadians. The health and safety to up to 500,000 Canadians in 600 First Nation communities has been threatened. That is not acceptable. Compounding the issue, source water protection is governed by provincial laws. Since watersheds often span areas beyond reserves, First Nations are legally limited in how much they can protect their own water. Infrastructure solutions such as water treatment facilities are extremely costly, and the federal government has often been reluctant to invest at the scale needed. The fact that some children in Canada are growing up without ever knowing what it's like to have safe tap water, while others take it for granted, is unacceptable. These are not just statistics. They are powerful stories of resilience in the face of deep-rooted injustice. Listening to voices like Deborah C., who struggled to manage her son's recurring rash due to unsafe water, highlights the urgent need to confront the colonial system that has caused this crisis. Clean water is not a privilege. It is a basic human right.
My aim for my community and my grandchildren is for them to have clean water.